You guys to tune in, and while you're doing that, let me type my phone number here. Good morning. Just typing, but hello. Those of you coming in, say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, definitely let me know. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Just give me a second to put in my number on Instagram. It is so hard typing when your phone is like mounted on like a tripod. Okay, so I've pinned my number on there. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, first timers. I see you guys. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer and I represent clients all over the US with their immigration matters. Your location is not a problem. We are a national law practice. We take cases in every state in the United States as long as it pertains to U.S. immigration. U.S. immigration is federal law, so location not a problem. Our phone number here is 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp message to 404-333-8751. Today is casual. I don't have any topics today. Hopefully, you guys got some useful information for my topic last week. So I'm just going to answer your questions with the time that I have here. Somebody says USCIS received my adjustment of status with my medical, and my I-130 was filed online. How soon should I get a receipt notice? The answer depends. It could vary anywhere from like 4 weeks to 8 weeks. In some cases, even longer. It's just taken longer these days for USCIS to send receipt notices. Hi, Chev from YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning from Not Dakota McDaniels. Good morning, Peaches. Hi, Wrist04. I did my biometrics for VAWA. How long does it take to get EAD? All depends. It all depends, if you filed your EAD with an adjustment of status application, really at this point you want to count from 4 to 9 months from when you submitted your initial applications. It's no longer easy to predict based on biometrics, just because sometimes people get biometric bypasses or biometrics come much sooner than normal. So yeah. Biza says, good morning, ma'am. I'm from Botswana, southern part of Africa. I just wanted you to know that you're doing a great job. God bless you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Dream Queen of Heart, good morning. Roots, first timer. Finesse, first timer. The Lucas Gomez says, can you tell me more about the visa bulletin? Well, what do you want to know about the visa bulletin? That's too broad of a question. So you can tell me what exactly you want me to talk about there. Good morning, my 9896, first timer. Nails by Momo, first timer. Good morning, C. Canfor, first timer. Chef Neela from New York, first timer. Ruth says, if I got 2 marriage licenses in less than 4 months, does it pose a problem? What do you mean you got 2 marriage licenses? Do you mean that you got married twice? Or like maybe you had an error in the first one and then you did another one? Like what do you mean by that? Fatu says, good morning. How long does naturalization take in Maryland? I don't know it offhand. Most naturalization can take anywhere from like 4 months to 15 months. It just depends on your state or your city. And even your state or your city, it still just depends. Sometimes you're just really lucky and it's much earlier, and sometimes you're on the tail end. But that's kind of the window. If you want, you can just, go online and look for USCIS case processing time, and then you can put in your field office in Maryland, and then it will tell you exactly. But there are 50 states, so there's absolutely no way I have that memorized. Good morning, Attorney Aisha. I would love to have a consultation with you, but your section on the website doesn't have dates like the other attorneys. How should I proceed? Call the office to schedule a consult. The number here is 407-995-6567. And if there's any availability, they will send you a link, or you can just book the consultation online. It's just that I usually book further out, so sometimes it caps out, and you're not able to book online because it's caps out. So sometimes what will happen is if someone needs to reschedule their appointment, they'll try and fit somebody else in at that time. Oh my God. Caddy says, good morning, lawyer. I just want to say I received my 10-year green card based on VAWA. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I love to hear it. I know you've been dedicated on lives. I always see on live. I'm so happy for you. Congrats. If you get married and your husband doesn't want to give you the information to file for you, what can you do? I mean, you can't force it out of him, but you can definitely try and get a screening to see if you're eligible to do a self-petition based on VAWA. So if you're eligible, then that way you can do it yourself. Vanessa is Echosa. I so much believe in you. Thank you so much. Good morning. What do you do if you can't find a family member or friend to sponsor you? Unfortunately, there's not much you can do. So if you're doing a marriage-based case, which I assume you're doing, and your spouse doesn't need the income, you just have to find a joint sponsor. If you don't find a joint sponsor, really the only option you have is looking to see in your own assets, you and your spouse. Do you have assets that are convertible to cash within the next 12 months that you can use to support that? So let me see how I can simplify that for you guys. So let's say your spouse you're a family of two, meaning it's just you and your spouse, there are no children, and your spouse makes 21,000, and really they should be making just a little over, I think it's a little over 24,650. That's the number. But let's just, to make it easy, I'm just going to call it 25,000. Let's say they need to make over 25,000 annually, but they only make 20,000. One of the things that you can do if you don't have a joint sponsor is you can look at the assets that you guys have. So assets would be things like your savings account, your bank account, 401k, cost of your car, cost of your house, any stocks investment that you have. Like, do you have anything that will put you over the hump of the $5,000 and that you can show proof of that? Like, so if let's say in your savings account, you have $10,000 in there, $15,000 in there, you can definitely use that, right? To show that, if you add that to the 20,000, would have 30,000 or 35,000. If you have a house, maybe you've not even paid off the house, but you can get an appraisal of the house, and maybe the house is like, you bought it like for 150K, and maybe it's now worth 200K. So that's already 50K in equity that you have. So you can also use that and add that. Same thing if you have monies in your 401k, or in the savings account, or you have a car that you purchased. Let's say you just bought a car cash, or you went to an auction and you just bought like a car, and you can add that. So that's what you can do. And if that is not an option for you, then unfortunately you're going to have to wait till that becomes an option for you, because the issue is you need somebody to do the financial affidavit for you. What does it mean when you get a prima facie determination letter? So a prima facie determination letter is a letter that's given to those who submit a VAWA application. This is usually given when USCIS believes that you've met the preliminary minimum requirements to be considered as a VAWA victim. This does not, and let me repeat, this does not guarantee approval. Because you get a prima facie does not mean you ultimately get approved. However, getting a prima facie determination letter is a good thing. It is one step towards the right direction, and sometimes will come with benefits depending on the state you live. So it's basically saying, we believe that this person has met some of the criteria, like good moral character, um, good moral character, good faith marriage, extreme cruelty. But we're going to now use a fine tooth comb to look at the application. For some people, what the prima facie does is that it allows them, let's say they want to go back to school and they maybe want to get like financial aid, they can do that. For others, if they need to leave the household where they're in that's abusive, this is very, very state specific, so you would have to find out which state, what benefits that you get. They will allow them to get financial assistance, but you can't get financial assistance if you have what was I going to say? Someone's question just threw me off. But you can't get financial assistance if you're still living in the household with your abuser. So you want to definitely you know um, make sure about that. But that's essentially what a prima facie determination letter is. Oh, and the other thing is that the prima facie will automatically list all your children, whether or not your children, all of your children that are 21 years old. So it will list all your children that are under 21 years old, whether or not they're in the United States or not, whether or not they lived with you and your abuser or not. As long as they're under 21 years old, they will be listed. And that means that if you're approved for VAWA, they will also be approved for VAWA as well. Siobhan says lawyers are the best because I didn't know this. Oh my God, I wish I knew this because I have over 40,000 CD. I didn't know. Thank you. Good for you, Siobhan. Absolutely. Yes. So if you're looking for a joint sponsor, you can joint sponsor yourself. I mean, you don't need a joint sponsor if you can show the assets because you got that assets and that's convertible to cash. You can definitely use that. Yes, this is why you should use a knowledgeable lawyer. How can Mexicans or Spanish get their visa through marriage? They don't have a visa, just a passport. The question is very broad. So when you say they don't have a visa, do you mean that they entered into the country without inspection? There are different things that you can be eligible for. If you're doing it through marriage and you cross the border, it's going to require you to consular process, do a waiver. If that's approved, to consular process. If you are eligible for VAWA because your spouse is abusive, that's also another option. You may also qualify for a T visa, which is based on labor trafficking and human trafficking here in the United States. Or you could also get it through a U visa if you've been a victim of a serious crime and that you've cooperated with law enforcement and law enforcement is willing to sign the paperwork saying that you did that. Okay. My dad is officially a citizen. I'm over 21. How can I apply for green card? Congratulations to your dad. If you're over 21, I don't know what country you're in. If you're in America, if you're in outside the country, because the process is going to be different. But what you do know is that, right now visas are not available to U.S. citizen children, parents, U.S. citizen parents' children who are over the age of 21. What would need to happen is the I-130 would need to be filed so that you can capture a priority date. Right now, I don't know. I haven't checked October's off the top of my head. Let me see. I think I have this open. Just if you guys give me a second, I will tell you what you're looking at in October. So for October right now, they're processing cases from January of 2015. So what that means for you is that if you put in an application today, and let's say you get a receipt number today, so you would subtract 2023 from 2015. So you're looking at about an 8-year wait. Once you turn 21, it becomes really dicey, getting your green card because you're no longer an immediate relative, unfortunately. Okay. If the petitioner does not work and you have a joint sponsor, does the petitioner still need to complete the I-864? Absolutely. Petitioner must always complete the I-864, always. If you're married for 4 years and you're out of the USA, do you still get a green card interview? You do. You do. You have to do an interview with the U.S. consulate. Yes. Oyinko says, asking for a friend, if a person is granted an immigrant visa, do they still have to wait there in the country to apply for an SSN, or can they apply online so by the time they're in the country? So basically, your immigrant visa converts to a green card when you enter into the United States. So they should go to the Social Security office to go get one. Okay. And an immigrant visa just basically means a green card, whereas a non-immigrant visa would be the temporary visas that people get. Okay. Good morning. Can I get my conditions removed without the help of my spouse? I'm assuming you mean the conditions on your green card. Yes, possibly. If you're eligible for a waiver to remove the conditions of your green card to go from a 2-year to a 10-year green card, you basically have to show that you qualify for a waiver, and that waiver can be based on divorce, hardship, extreme cruelty, or death. Deonti says, tremendous team. Thanks for helping my son and my daughter-in-law. They were approved, just waiting for his work permit and SSN number. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. We helped you with that. Okay. How long does it take to receive your card from an approved case? It depends, when it goes into production. But majority of the people will get it around within 2 weeks, basically, of an approval. I was a green card holder when I filed an I-130 for my spouse. What do I do now that I'm a citizen? Will it make the process go faster? Yeah. Right now, because visas are not currently current for green card holders, you definitely want to notify USCIS of your status change so that they can then process your spouse as a spouse of a U.S. citizen as opposed to spouse of a green card holder. Prior to a couple of months ago, it wouldn't have mattered because visas were current, but because visas are not current now for green card holders, who are petitioning for their spouses, so now the fact that you're a U.S. citizen is beneficial to you. Okay. Good morning. Can I marry my spouse while he's waiting for his citizenship? If you want, he's just going to have to amend his application. So if your spouse is put in his application and he's single, when he put in his application, or like a divorcee or whatever, if he gets married before the interview, then at the interview he has to amend his application and just let them know he's married and present his marriage certificate. If he gets married after the interview, before the naturalization, he would have to do the same thing, because your application is not complete until you naturalize and you get your certificate. So if before naturalization he has finalized his marriage to you, then he has to tell them so that they can amend the naturalization, because your naturalization certificate will tell you what your marital status is. Okay. Good morning. Getting divorced, and it appears spouse submitted forged documents from me to obtain citizenship. How can I prove it? Where can I go? Wow, that's terrible. You can probably check on USCI's website. I know there was a site there to report suspected fraud and stuff like that. But sorry that happened to you. Thank you, Deonti. Is there a way to know if USCIS has accepted your application for VAWA? Yes, there is a way. You will receive a filing receipt. If you don't get a filing receipt, then they've not accepted your application. VAWA applications right now, filing receipts take a long time. So it might take you a little longer than normal, but you need to make sure that you get a filing receipt. Okay. Oyinko says, share this live. Yes, guys, share this live so your friends can also tune in and see what is going on, or, ask their questions. Ernest says, I've started my case with your team yesterday. I'm waiting for them to call me. Awesome. Ernest, Ava, I'll make sure that you are called when I get off this live. Debbie says, good morning. Is it wise for an immigrant with an ITIN to obtain driver's license? I don't want to answer that question because it's not related to immigration. My valid case was received October 2022. How long will it take to receive a response? So most valid cases take 2 years to 2.5 years. So you are at least looking at next year, unless there's an issue with your application, then you get an RFE, and the RFE can come either anytime from now or next year. But otherwise, most times, if there's nothing wrong with your case and they're just reviewing, your case would just stay kind of like dormant and quiet until, they make a decision in your case. Guys, I gotta jump off. This week, I would have loved to come live this week, but this week I am so busy. Yeah, I'm just looking at my schedule. I am so busy, so I won't be able to come live until, I'm just trying to see if maybe I can. I can't even do Friday. Yeah, so this will be the only time I'll come live this week. My schedule is nuts. Have a lot of client interviews coming up with USCIS. I always do my best to try to prep our clients for those interviews and attend the ones that I'm able to and my schedule allows me, or one of our team attends. But I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will talk to you guys next week. All right, bye.